If you like this video, why not subscribe?
Hey, it's the weekly recap, the show we shoot in my car where we talk about last week's emails, comments, and links. I'm your host, I guess. I just wanted to first talk about last week's show, or the comments we got from last week's show, where the question was, is the show too long? And I was pleasantly surprised to find out that many of you said the show wasn't too long. It was a 20-minute show. That's a long time for YouTube, at least to me it would seem. But most of you said that the length was fine as long as the content was there. Some of you said, as I mentioned, you treat it as a podcast, meaning as soon as the show starts, since there's nothing visual really to see except my mug, you can open a new tab on your computer and go surf while you listen. Or one person mentioned how they treated it as a podcast in his car, as he just played it in his car as he drove to work. And so I was really surprised by that. However, I also listened to, there was probably 20% of you said it was too long. Which is fine. And I think what I'm going to do as a compromise is I'm going to keep not trim the show per se, except that I'm not going to go over all the links. All the links for this past week are going to be included in the description below. So if you don't want to watch my face, you can, or not even interested in what I'm saying about the emails or comments or anything, you can just go right to the links. There's a lot of good information there, but they're all pretty self-explanatory. So if that's all you want, you can just go right to those. And I won't go over them in the show. It seems kind of redundant. Okay, so with that said, let's get started. First, something else some people said is they would prefer if it were broken into chunks, as far as, this section is emails, this section is comments, and this section is links. And I thought about doing shows on different days. Some people pointed that out, that maybe I should break the show up into different days. But one thing I didn't want was that when people come to my channel, I don't want them to look at the videos on the side and just see my face. It's like, oh, there's all these different, recap segments instead of actual content of new stuff. So I'm going to keep the show as a whole and just do it again like every Monday, and keep the schedule that I'm on, which is an original Frugal Filmmaker episode every first Wednesday. Every third Wednesday will be a tip episode, and then if there's a fifth Wednesday, it'll be a short film. There might be bonus content in between. Like this week, I'm going to try and do a behind the scenes or a making of Temp Insanity, my short film, which came out last month. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to start off with emails, messages to me, personal messages. And if you want to send me an email, the easiest way is to send one to thefrugalfilmmaker@gmail.com, or through the email link in my YouTube channel, or send a message to me that way. But the email, thefrugalfilmmaker@gmail, is probably the easiest way. So first off, we have Laucree sent me a message through YouTube. And he says, I have a question about your Frugal floater. That was the DIY Steadicam that I made. He says, could you add another macro slider, another 90-degree macro slider to the first? That way you would get A and B adjustment. And he's referring to the slider that I use for front to back. He's saying, could I add another one on top, which would give me basically left to right? So would that be easier to balance? And it probably would, but that's another $14. That's why I thought about that at first, but I didn't want to add the extra expense. I was already spending like $35, $40, and that was kind of my limit. I didn't want to spend any more than that. So, but you could do that. In fact, if you tried it, I'd love to see that. You send me a picture of that or video of how it worked out for you. He also adds with a little redesigning the counterbalance arms. Could you effectively add a field monitor? Yes, you could. Obviously, it's tricky because you have to balance everything, but that's definitely a possibility. Although one thing I like about these camcorders is the flip out screens. You really don't need a field monitor because you're pretty much on top of that camera anyway. I don't know if you really need a monitor, but if you would like to try that, Kurt, feel free, take some pictures, send me some video, and we'll publish it on the blog. So those are good suggestions, though. I just wanted to cut down the suspense, the expense, by not putting all that stuff in. Okay, next up we have a message through YouTube from Don Kelly Jr. And about the last episode, about that camera that I talked about in the tip episode, the Sanyo XACTI CG10, he said, I tried to locate one of those XACTI VPC-CG10s, but could not. I called Radio Shack, but they told me that it was discontinued 2 years ago. Any ideas where to locate one of them? Now, I went looking for these on the internet, and there's there are some on Amazon, but they're like $190, too expensive, in my opinion. And then I went back to Radio Shack, and this is going to be amazing, because I got several emails and messages from people saying, hey, I can't find these cameras, I want one, they look great, $80 is a great price, and it is. And I noticed on the Radio Shack website that when I did a search for the CG20, which was the successor to the CG10, that they had a page for that also, and it was the same price. And they had a little search finder thing, so if you type your zip code in, it'll give you locations of where the CG20 is located. And the CG20 is in like three times as many Radio Shacks in my area than the CG10. where I only found one. And if you're wondering what the difference is really the only difference that I know of is that they add an extra shooting mode, which is a 1080p shooting mode. So you could get 1080p video for $80 and have all those other features I talked about, as well as some others. It's a great camera, and there's really not that much difference, only it's more curvy instead of sharp angled. And so that's the answer. I think try the link below for the CG20 finder on the Radio Shack website, which is weird because if you type in XACTI, all you get is a CG10. You have to type in CG20 in the search box to find the CG20 on the site. It's really strange. But that's the solution, I think. Try putting in your zip code and see if you can find a CG20, because they were out longer. They only discontinued those the end of last year opposed to the CG10, which was like a couple years ago. So your luck is probably much better. So I'd like to hear back from you guys. Tell me if you can find a CG20 and how well that worked out for you, and that you got this camera for $80 and what you thought of it. Leave me a message. Okay, next up I have a message from Raggy Ragsdale through YouTube, and he says, I am a new YouTube partner. You seem to have done this also, and I hope you'd be willing to share with me how I can connect with folks and add to my earnings. I've asked a few others, but they say in a roundabout way they don't need the competition. So yes, as you become a YouTube partner, you have the opportunity to monetize your videos. As many of you notice, the ads that pop up, those are all YouTube partners that do that. And Uncle Raggy here, as he's called, is just asking how you can connect better with others. And first of all, I'd like to comment though on this comment he received from other people saying that they wouldn't help him because they didn't want the competition. I think that's ridiculous. I think that YouTube, I mean, there's so much traffic on YouTube. There's like, what, 3 billion views a day or something, and 48 hours of video uploaded every minute, and some crazy numbers like that. And there's room for everybody. You could always carve out your own niche and get an audience, and there's no reason why we shouldn't share ideas. And it seems like a little snobby to say that, but I'm all about the free flow exchange of ideas. And so I will be actually creating a video next month in February about how I was able to achieve my current subscriber base, which just hit 10,000 this past week. I just want to say thank you for everyone who subscribed to my shows, my channel. And I am more than willing to create an episode about how I did that. Even though it's not a huge success, I'm not Freddie Wong. I don't have 2.7 million subscribers. He got like 1 million in 1 year, last year, I think. Just insane. And I'm nowhere near that level, but I have learned a few things. And I did go from 1,000 subscribers to 10,000, and actually will probably be 11,000 in a year's time. So I'm going to talk about that next month, and hopefully that will give Uncle Raggy what he wants. And then if you want to create a YouTube channel, I might be able to give you a few good ideas, or ideas that you say that you don't want to do. Whatever. Okay, next up, okay, we're on to comments now. This is the comments section. And I had a reply from the last show, which was the tip show, the in-camera editing, from 2 Air 4 Water. He asked me, so that means you didn't quick upload this video because you had a second camera in the video? And here he's asking that since I talked about shooting and then uploading the show after I shot it, kind of like what I'm going to do with this show, that I didn't do it for the tip show. And you're right, I didn't, because there was obviously editing there. The purpose of the recap show is for no editing, but that was a tip show, so I did, use that camera. I did edit it. There was a cutaway, there were inserts, all kinds of stuff, text, etc. Obviously, so I did use an editor. He had a couple other questions about the Sanyo camera. He said, I saw you had the Sanyo on a tripod, so it comes with a screw hole on the bottom of the camera to attach the tripod. Yes, there is a tripod mount on the bottom of these cameras, which is great. That means they will fit on all the rigs that I build. Second, can you use this camera like a webcam? In other words, directly feed the camera image to a computer with a USB cable via the USB port. And the answer to this is yes. This is one of the great versatile things you can do with this camera. It can be used as a webcam, and you may ask, well, why would I want to do that? Well, one thing you can do is you can do stop motion video. If you get a free program like Monkey Jam, you can actually do stop motion animated films, because they look for a webcam. You can use their program to take one frame at a time. But if you, another thing I like about this camera, there's a macro mode. You can get super close-ups. In fact, people have like shots of their eyeballs and everything on YouTube using this camera. Just do a search for XACTI CG10. You'll see all kinds of things people have done. Interesting, cool, innovative things with this camera. If you're wondering about exactly the specs and all the things you can do, literally, I've included a link in the description to the Sanyo CG10 manual. You can read through, and again, if you're going to end up with the CG20, it's pretty close to what the CG10 can do, except that it shoots in 1080p also. Okay, next up, another comment on the tip episode from Photozome. He says, I like your audio. What type of lav mic do you use? I have an H1, Zoom H1, and from what I know, it has no phantom power. Yeah, in the tip episode, I used a Radio Shack lav mic. It's a cheap, when I got it, it was $27. Now it's $33 for some reason. It went up. It's the Radio Shack hands-free tight clip omnidirectional electret, number 33-3013. I've included a link in the description. It's $33, but if you want to save some money, the exact same microphone or something really super close that a lot of people use is the Audio-Technica ATR-3350 lav mic. You can get that at Amazon for $25. I've included a link as well for that one. They're both decent mics. They're unbalanced, and you can plug them right into your Zoom H1 because, as Photozome says, the Zoom H1 has no phantom power. I'm not using XLR mics. These are cheap, unbalanced, with 1/8-inch plug microphones, and they sound pretty decent. The better your electronics are, the better their microphone's going to sound, and the Zoom H1 has really pretty good electronics. In fact, that's what I used for that episode. I was wearing the Radio Shack Lav, and it was running into the Zoom H1, which was in my pocket, so that audio sounds pretty good. Better than this audio sounding, I'm sure. Okay, next up, another comment on the tip episode from Cake Has Layers, and he asks, wow, is the audio from your recap videos original to this camera too, or did you have to fix the audio in post? I guess I just explained this. No, I was, it wasn't the same audio as like for this episode. I wasn't using an on-camera mic for that. I was using a lav mic running into a Zoom H1. And although I was using the audio on the camera to sync and post, because I did clap my hands and you can line up the audio tracks, and then just delete the on-camera audio for the better audio, which was being recorded into the Zoom. Okay, another question on the tip episode, which says, how did you record the camera menu at 4 minutes and 25 seconds? This is from Wieheisschochma. I can't even pronounce it. I'm sorry. Maybe you can explain that in an email, how to say your name. So the next time I do it, I won't butcher it like I just did. Sorry about that. He's referring to the camera menu that I didn't record just by pointing a camera at the flip-out monitor, but I actually had the actual feed, a composite feed, and I was able to record it from the camera. And if you saw my episode workflow episode, which was a few episodes back, I explained how I did this. But what I'm doing is I'm taking the composite out. Every camera has a where you can run it out to a monitor, a little plug cable. You can run it out breakout cable. And I just took that breakout cable and ran it into an audio to digital converter. And then I took the FireWire output from that converter into my computer, and I captured it much the same way you would capture, like you'd capture old video from the old process you would use capturing video from a tape, from FireWire to the computer, and just it's like a live feed. It just comes right in, you record it. So check out that episode. I've included a link below in the description. That's the episode workflow, Frugal Filmmaker episode. That's how I did it. Okay, another comment from the tip episode from David Cousins, and he asks, I'm finding video from my HD cell phone, Samsung camera, to have delayed soundtracks. I found this when dropping the vids into my video editor. I use Movie Magix Pro. I can't figure out if the problem is the camera or the editor or the computer. Any thoughts on helping me solve this delayed soundtrack problem? Well, David, I think, it's hard to say. I've never used Movie Magix Pro, so I don't know if it's the editor. But it sounds like what's happening is that you're dropping the video with the accompanying audio into your editor, and the presets on the editor, maybe the bit rate or the settings for the audio are different than what the actual audio attached to your video has, and I hope that makes sense. In Vegas, you can actually set all the settings on your audio to match the video you're importing. So it sounds like one of those is off, like the audio, I'm sorry, the audio settings in the editor is set for one thing, sample rate is what I'm going for. Check the sample rate. If it's different than what your video is, then those two aren't matching, and so you're probably going to have some kind of lip flap, as they say, where people are talking and the audio doesn't match their lips. Obviously, you've probably done this already, is you can slide the audio to match the video, but I would say check your sample rates and all the audio settings and make sure that they're matching the audio you're bringing in, because if they're different, there might be some conflict there. That's my only... If somebody else has a suggestion for David, please leave it in the comments. All right. Okay, we have a comment from Morphs God on the weekly recap episode last week, and he says, I just got my Canon T3i and my current computer can't handle the footage. What type of computer would you recommend? Well, I don't have a T3i, but I think that if you are going to get a new computer to edit your video with, number one, you want to get the fastest processor you can get, whatever you can afford. I think that's the number one thing. You're going to want a lot of RAM also, at least a minimum of 4 gigs probably, but that's pretty standard on new computers, so I would suggest that you just get the best off-the-shelf computer you can get, or unless you want to build one, you can do that, but off-the-shelf computers are pretty fast nowadays, and you shouldn't have any problem editing that video. So fastest processor you can get, RAM, and also if you can get 2 separate drives, you can have one drive with all your programs on it, and one drive with all your video. That way, opposed to having everything on one drive, so the computer is constantly having to write to itself for the main drive. That way, if it's on the video's on a separate drive, it doesn't have to do that internal thing. It's better. I can't explain it. I'm sorry. I'm computer literate, but not computer explaining literate. Okay. Moving on. Okay, another comment on the last weekly recap episode from Used to Be Awkward. He asks, I was curious, how about making a DIY removable softbox, or is there any good place where I can find that out myself? And I get a lot of suggestions for episodes that I am not going to mention on shows like this, but I did want to mention this one because he asks where is a good place basically that I can find other DIY stuff, softbox being one of them. So I just wanted to take this opportunity to mention 4 shows that I think are really good resources. And I know there's more, but these are the ones that I usually frequent when I want answers to this type of a question. One of them is Indie Mogul, and that's their backyard effects archive. They're not producing backyard effects anymore, but there's so much stuff archived on YouTube that you'll be able to find all kinds of great projects and things you can do on your own. Another one is Quick Effects. That's Dave Knop's show, or Knoptop show. He's always building stuff, and he's got a lot of great projects, and I recommend poring over his videos. And I think he's made a softbox, but there's lots of other good projects there. DSLR Film Noob, this DJ show, and he hasn't put up a video in a while, but he had a lot for a while there. He was just going crazy with all these fantastic projects and lighting and sound and all kinds of great stuff. So I'd recommend checking out his show. And again, you can just search for these in the YouTube box to find them all. And the last one's Film Riot. They're the biggest DIY filmmaking show right now on YouTube. And so I definitely check out Ryan Connolly and what he has to offer. And they probably do have a softbox. I didn't look specifically for that, but you'll be able to find lots of stuff, and that's a great show. So, moving on, we got more. Jess, LAYC, made a comment about the camera stabilizer rig for under $5. He asks, would I be able to make the spring-loaded camera mount with an end cap and not a plug? Our hardware store doesn't have any plugs, just caps that go over the PVC. And what is the deal with these hardware stores not having plugs? Such a common item. You can use an end cap. You just have to put an insert between the T-joint and the cap. However, one thing I don't like about caps is that they have that rounded top, which isn't that great for a camera stage. So you're going to screw it down to that, and it's not going to sit flat. So you can do it, but you're just going to have to compensate, I guess, when you're holding the camera, so that compensates for what you're probably going to get some kind of candid angle in there somewhere. But it is doable. Sure, you can do it. No problem. Okay, another comment on that same video, the camera stabilizer ring video, from Monchi10, who says, how did you get the bicycle grips on? Mine only go about an inch and they get stuck. Did you lube the PVC first? I know what he's saying, because those half-inch, there's not a lot of tolerance in between those bicycle grips and the half-inch PVC pipe you're trying to slide them over. But I basically use brute force. I think mine went about half an inch, also an inch, and then got stuck. And so I just basically pushed them down into the floor, and I kept doing just a pulling motion on them to just keep going. And it's hard. It takes a little while, and once they're on there, they aren't coming off. But that's how I did it. I didn't put any lube on it, although I guess you could try that, some oil or something. I don't know. But that's how I did it. Just pushed really hard. Okay, same video, As Hunt Boy commented and said, I was wondering if you ever cement your PVC rigs together. I was making a short film with some friends once, and I was using a PVC fig rig I made, but I didn't cement it together. I was using a friend's T2i, and we were filming in a wet area. Halfway through filming, I took the neck strap off for 5 seconds, and sure enough, the whole rig fell apart, and the T2i was ruined. Luckily, he had a protection plan and got a new one free. I just don't want to make my mistake to happen to anyone else. Cementing is always a good idea. I typically never cement any of my stuff, mostly because it's usually under development when I'm using it, and I know that I'm going to have to take it apart to explain how to build it again. So if I were to cement it, I would have to buy all new parts and make, you know, a demo model to show on camera. So I never cement anything. I'm usually pretty careful. But cementing is a good idea. I think once you have it together and it's working the way you want it, that's probably a great final step. It's probably something I should be doing that I'm not. Not that I want my camera to be destroyed. I'm just always doing something else. So, okay, I got a comment on clamp lighting from Moot Mike, who asks, I found some clamp lights at a local hardware store, but they were $15. Where did you get yours? I just got mine at Home Depot. I think they were $7 or $8, and I don't know if that price still holds because I haven't bought them in a long time. But yeah, I would just try all the hardware stores, Lowe's. I think Home Depot typically has the best prices of all the stuff that I end up buying. I don't think I've ever found the only place I've found cheaper stuff is at Harbor Freight Tools, but usually those are really specialized things, like the PVC pipe cutters are $4 there, and at Home Depot they're $12. But for PVC pipe or any kind of general building material, Home Depot seems to have the lowest prices. Okay, comment posted on the camera crane jib for $30. Shorty K95 asks, what about pan left and right? And he's asking if if you want to add a panning feature to the tilting feature on the crane, and I have no plans of making a panning feature. Just because that would jack the price way up, I think, and I don't see the necessity for it, at least for the things that I do. So if you want to do that, go right ahead, but I have no plans. I plan on upgrading this crane, the crane's parts, with some better pulleys and the cable system, but I have no plans of changing or adding a panning feature. Okay, finally, last question here, last comment. We have make a PVC dolly for under $20. This is from Lifeform 313. He asks, can you send me the parts list? I just want to make sure I heard you right. Thanks. And I apologize. There's several videos I've been meaning to do this on, because all of it, the new videos I make, I now post a parts list in the description. But the older videos, especially the camera crane and the table dolly, don't have parts list. And I apologize for that. People have been asking me for these for a while, and I've been lazy. I'm sorry. Been busy. So I will this week get the parts list up for the table dolly and the camera crane, and that should take care of you there. So, and that's the end of our comments and emails. Again, all the links are in the description below. They really don't need no explanation. They're all self-explanatory. And so we come to the end of the show where we ask a question. I ask a question. So you guys can please give me your feedback. And I really want the show to grow a lot so that I can turn it into my main job. So my question is, how can we work together and market the show? What would you be willing to do to help me market it? I was trying to think recently about what I could offer maybe to people that would be willing to, become kind of like affiliates and help me market the show or get the word out. I'm not sure what that means as far as, would you be willing to, send emails every time a show comes out, or maybe embed it in your Facebook page or link to it somehow. If that interests you, if you'd like to help the show grow and get better. Because everybody would benefit from that, because I'd be able to have a little extra money and I could invest that in the show. For an incentive, one of the things I could offer people is I really can't pay anybody to do this, but one thing I could do is I could upload, each time I upload something, I could upload it unlisted, and then I could send out an email to all the Frugal Filmmaker affiliates saying, hey, there's a new show, you get to see it maybe a day before everybody else, or 12 hours or something like that, and I could send you the link. So that's kind of what I've been thinking, but I'm willing to take any kind of, input from you guys about, how can we market the show? What would you do to help me market the show? So please give me your feedback. Again, you can just leave a comment on this video or email me at thefrugalfilmmaker@gmail.com, and we'll go from there. So thanks for watching. Again, thanks for your patronage watching the show. 10,000 subs, that's pretty cool. Appreciate that. And coming out this Wednesday, hopefully I can get that, the making of Temp Insanity. And if that doesn't happen, I will see you next Monday.